No Man's Sky is one of my favorite games out there. Literally from day one, No Man's Sky was absolutely trash. And then a few years later, look at it now. Thriving, literally have quintillions of planets, and it has literally thousands of things to offer and so many new features that this game had that in the past, promised but, failed to do. And now it promises things. And not only that, it's literally given us updates that, a lot of games don't really try on, which is why I really love No Man's Sky, which a lot of the updates that they get, right, maybe it'll happen once a year or something. I don't know how long it happens. I'm just new to this, but I just want to say, with these updates, right, all of these updates are huge and they just make this game more unique every time they keep updating it, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm pretty sure around the, 9 or 10 years that this game really been out. I don't know how long. I think it was like 2016 or something. But from a long time ago, I'm pretty sure it only had like 8 or 9 giant updates. But these 8 or 9 giant updates kind of made No Man's Sky the way it is right now. Jeez, I cannot speak today. I want to speak, but anyways, you get what I'm saying? This game really, really thrived from, being the worst of the worst and now being one of the best of the best. And this is why I like this game, right? This game really has an amazing redemption arc where, this game had a lot of bugs, a lot of terrible things, and then all of a sudden it was really awesome. But not only that, the gameplay itself really feels amazing. I mean, to be fair, it is a very complicated game, but it doesn't put you in that complicated area yet, which a lot of games like Ark or even like games like Terraria, I haven't played Terraria, so I can't really speak on that, but Ark, for example. This game really, and geez, my hair is getting messed. Dude, I'm getting distracted in what I'm saying. But anyways, Ark, for example, the game really puts you in a very complicated area. And, you'll have to find your ways, time to time. Not only that, you'll have to do research. I mean, if you don't do research, you're probably a genius with, an insane high IQ or something like that. Or just got lucky finding everything. And boom, you have the world's best dino by not doing any research. But a lot of these games really require a lot of research. No Man's Sky is one of those games, right? Obviously. However, the thing is about No Man's Sky is it doesn't require so much research all at once, right? Where in the beginning, it will introduce you to, let's say, oxygen, or let's say it'll introduce you to tiny rocks and how to build this and that and the third. And just introduce you to basic, crafting where you can easily get the hang of. Eventually, it's going to get more complicated, but it's not to the point where it's just going to shove it all on your face, which a lot of games really, really, really do, and it's really bad sometimes, right? But even then, this game does a really good job slowing you down in a way, but at the same time, showing you things that, you can already get the hang of, right? And even if it gets really complicated, you can always try to go back and, try to relearn some of these things, and then eventually you'll get the hang of this game. But, it not only does that, it's just an amazing job, but even you moving on forward, it just feels smooth. Everything doesn't feel it just doesn't feel like it needs improvement anywhere. I'm not gonna lie. It really just does feel like it's smooth in such a way. I mean, I love the space battles that you can get sometimes, which is pretty awesome. And the new, crazy, deadly creatures. I mean, I've one time seen a giant worm, just what I'm saying? Just coming at it from the ground, out of nowhere. It's absolutely amazing. I love this game. I mean, this game really does have a lot of things to offer. And what I do like is it doesn't really have realistic builds, I guess, where a lot of games like No Man's Sky, where they try to be very realistic, and they'll try to be so realistic to the point where it's you'll have to put pillars, like Raft, right? Where you'll have to put pillars so you can support this part of the structure or this part of the structure. And then you're like, well, I don't want to do that. That's going to cost a crazy amount of, resources. No Man's Sky doesn't really have that much of a realistic type building, which I really like. So you can literally use your imagination out of nowhere. You could probably build a Death Star. I don't know if someone did that, but you could probably do that, just rebuild a giant planet out of space or something. I don't know. But even then, right, No Man's Sky doesn't really have a lot of realistic type building, which actually gives you more space to, I guess, build anything that you want. And it gives you a lot more freedom to build whatever you want and whatever you need. Like if you want some sort of farming area, right? And you want to make it in the sky or maybe somewhere in the ground, but not to the point where you have to place a whole bunch of resources so you can support a lot of things. Well, this game offers that for you. And at the same time, hey, build whatever you want. Also, I just want to just say, I really do love the whole like money mechanic things. It's called units, I think. I'm not sure. Low-key, I don't pay attention to that. But anyways, you know, the units, I think, I don't know. I mean, I just love the mechanics, and I love, like, how expensive some things really are and how cheap some things really are. I mean, this game also, like, I should probably say this too, it can be very grindy, but at the same time, you know, it can also go on your own pace, right? Where if you want to spend thousands of hours in this game, you could probably get one of the best spaceships. So you probably don't need these types of stuff, right? But you could probably get the craziest amount of spaceships, or maybe like something so insane to the point where, you know, it probably needs so much resources to, you know, make this spaceship or whatever, you know, to fly or something like that. Or if you just want to play this game once in a while and let's say complete the story or something like that, which by the way, the story is absolutely amazing, right? You know, even then, you could probably play this game an hour a day or something, still complete the story, and somehow, some way find yourself, you know, having decent amount of loot and decent amount of stuff and still completing this game, you know, like, hey, nothing happened. Which I think also is just letting you know, a lot of games struggle to do that, where like, for example, Minecraft tries to be very simple, but at the same time, they go so far as like making it too simple to the point where it can get very boring, or like, let's say, Ark as well, where it can be very complicated to the point where it can be overwhelming and you have to spend lots of time. One game, you know, makes it to the point where you could just probably spend 30 minutes and get the best resources, and another game, you know, you could probably have to spend hours and hours just to get one tiny thing so you can make something larger. No Man's Sky doesn't really do that. It really just puts you in your own like space and your own, you know, I guess area that you can play on, I guess. But anywho, No Man's Sky really does go on your own pace, and it really does just make it feel like you can just explore and have great decent amount of items, great decent amount of things, and so much more. Which is why I like playing No Man's Sky. I mean, this game is fun. This game is super amazing, and this game really, 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 really is just something where you can just go ahead, relax, and just have fun. It doesn't really rely on Battle Royale or even survival, right? Like, I feel like even a lot of times in normal mode, right, it's not as hard as most people, I guess, could imagine. I mean, towards the end, yes, it is. I have reached somewhere around there, but not to the point where it gets hard, but at least for me, it's hard to the point where it's like, it's challenging, but it's not death level challenging. But anywho, like, this game also really just shows, like, hey, this game could be hard at times, but you could just create your own, you know, imagination inside space, and boom, fabulous. If that makes sense. But anyways, I just want to ramble these 2 minutes here for a sec because I want this video to be 10 minutes. I really do enjoy No Man's Sky, okay? I'm just going to ramble something here, and this is one thing I enjoy about it, is the vehicles. You know, you could have, you know, giant tank car vehicles or a motorcycle that goes super fast. And I also absolutely love, like, the pet system and all of these amazing type stuff. By the way, I am also obsessed with, like, just adventuring, okay? I am obsessed with adventuring in this game. I mean, to be fair, adventuring in No Man's Sky is very amazing, and it just feels relaxing. It doesn't feel like, you know, like sometimes, to be fair, adventuring is very beneficial, right? And finding the right planets, but it also feels like you don't have to adventure 1,000 planets, but you could, right? But you don't have to. And this game really is very obsessive. Like, when you get into this game, just adventuring lots of planets, right? Obviously, this game has like limited, because it's coding, this is not the real universe. Obviously, this game has like limited biomes, a few biomes in there with crazy amount of creatures and all these types of stuff. But even then, even if you explore these types and like the same type of planet, right? And like with different types of, you know, planets, I guess. What I'm saying is like you're exploring, let's say, the same type of planet biome or something like that, but maybe it could be different structures or something like this. This game has its own unique way of literally letting you explore stuff even though some of these stuff could be the same as you found other planets and stuff like that, which is really awesome, right? I mean, to be fair, Minecraft doesn't really do a good job for that. And I'm sorry, I don't like to hate on Minecraft. I love Minecraft, but Minecraft doesn't do a good job on, you know, exploring a lot or like relying to explore. The mace, for example, does an amazing job at making you explore if you want to find it. But even then, you know, it doesn't just force you to do that. No Man's Sky does it in a way where it's not like force as a force, but in just a way where it's like, hey, explore these planets, you could probably get better resources later on. And even then, you know, it's super fun. I absolutely love No Man's Sky. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I just rambled like for 10 minutes on No Man's Sky. And other than that, yeah, let me know what you think about No Man's Sky. Do you guys like it? Do you guys dislike it? Or do you just think it's like, what, complicated? I mean, for me, when I first started out this game, I thought it was very, very, very overwhelmingly complicated. Now I play it and I'm like, I'm obsessed with this game.